Hey y'all, I am kind of aggravated with myself because I don't recall ever sharing this recipe with y'all in a video. Maybe I have, but after so many years, you get them mixed up in your head. But this is a recipe that was in my first book. I think it was my first book. Maybe it was my second. Can't remember. Uh, but it was one of those recipes that I had more feedback on. So many women told me they just loved this recipe because it was simple, it was easy. School is starting back. So I know that you mothers and daddies out there are looking for things that are a nutritious, easy, delicious dish that you can do in a hurry, because I know with all your children's outside activities, you feel like a taxi cab driver or an Uber driver. So I'm here to help with an easy recipe for y'all. And we're going to start with 4. The recipe calls for 4 large chicken breasts. Well, breasts come in all different sizes, y'all. Y'all's breasts may be bigger than mine. So these are a small breast. But I think sometimes the smaller the chicken, the better it is. And I'm actually using Springer Mountain chicken. All right. So that's it so far. Let me see. I'm having to refresh myself. Okay. And it does just call for a little salt and pepper. So I'll go ahead and salt that now. Put a little pepper on it. I could mix it with the wet ingredients, but I think this will work maybe better. All right, so here goes the easy part. We've got sliced Swiss cheese, and it calls for 6 ounces, but since my breasts are so tiny, I don't think it's going to take 6 ounces. We'll save that for another dish. Okay, so I've got a can of cream of chicken soup. We're going to get every drop out. And to make sure I've got as much of that soup out of that can, I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of white wine. And just rinse that can out with that white wine. You're getting the gist of how easy this is, I'm sure. And, if you're worried about cooking dishes with wine, you can certainly leave that out. All right. So we're just going to pour our wet on top of our chicken breast and on top of our cheese. Just going to spread that around. And instructions in the recipe say to top it with a cup of like that Pepperidge Farm cornbread. It calls for herb flavored Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix. So I know they make several choices in that. So it said to top it with that and then pour the butter on it. But I'm gonna I'm going to mix my butter with my Pepperidge Farm because that way I want to make sure that it all gets wet, because that's what makes that topping so good, is the butter that we put on it. It'll make it get crispy and good. Like I said, I can't believe how many conversations I got from this one recipe with my friends out there. They loved it. Now, the recipe calls for you to cook this for 45 minutes to an hour, but because our breasts are so small, I think maybe 30 to 35 minutes will do it. But I'm so happy to know that I'm sharing this with y'all, and I hope you're gonna love it. I think you will. We got this ready in what, 5 minutes? Yeah, it was about 5 minutes. This looks so good. It's been so long since I had it, and I'm excited about eating it again. I'm only going to give it a little bit of a taste because I have a feeling this might be dinner. So I would serve this along with rice and probably just some fresh broccoli. Ooh, hot. Now I cooked. See, and I had small breast. I cooked this one for 30 minutes, I think. And I checked it with my meat thermometer, and it registered, 165, 66, something like that. So if you are using those real large breasts, look how tender that is. And that's what happens when you use a good chicken. It does make a difference. So good. And I can see why I had many conversations about the way people like this dish. Easy, simple, and delicious. On top of rice and fresh broccoli. Toot toot. Toot toot. Yum. Loving best dishes, y'all. I'm sorry I got into my tasting a little bit. Before we go, y'all, I want to give y'all this tip. If you don't like cream of chicken soup, change it to cream of mushroom soup. Still be just as delicious.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.